Hello, Braden Herrington here, normally with Davey Portman, but he's at work because he outworks everyone. So this is a special show. This is Up Next. We're your NXT friends. And well, I lost a friend, but I found another one tonight. The world is a strange place, and sometimes it takes a pandemic to bring friends together from all over the world to connect via pro wrestling, and more specifically, pro wrestling podcast. So I'm joined today by not only world champ patron of the Up Next world, but more than a friend of the show, family of the show, brother of the show, Mr. One, Dickie Bird. Hello.
Hola, hola, hola. Is that my best Spanish David Portman impersonation?
All right. Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, Dickie, I don't know how to say this to our listeners, but this is a special bonus show where a Canadian / Portuguese dude and a Kiwi / Aussie. You're a fake Aussie, but you're a Kiwi Aussie, right? That's safe to say.
So I'm like Davey in the sense that I'm a Kiwi, but I live in Australia.
Right. So yeah. So two very white guys from different, very white places of the world, covering a Lucha Libre Mexican wrestling main event pay-per-view here tonight. Well, sort of a pay-per-view, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, my boss is South American, so I guess that's something. So I learned some Spanish words from him.
Right.
That's all I've got.
I do love Mexican wrestling. I love all professional wrestling, different types, different places of the world. It's amazing to see. And that's why there was some interest in tonight's show. Obviously, the match that was taking place is Kenny Omega versus Andrade, which is kind of the match everyone's aiming for. But we also did a watch along and a show last year for Triplemania because we were all locked up in this pandemic. So now it was kind of fun to see it. However, they didn't promote it on AEW because you could not find this show anywhere. So Davey has a shoot job like I myself. I worked all day and Davey's at work tonight. So I was like, how can we even watch this? Well, Dickie, you were my savior. Can you explain how the world and our Twitch watch along managed to do this?
Yeah. How much time do we have? So I guess AAA Lucha Underground in America is suing AAA Mexico, and in parallel, Up Next Canada is suing UpNext Australia. So we weren't able to watch this AAA show outside of Mexico. So we did need to tap into some sources. So well-known AAA or Lucha commentator, Cubs fan, who used to do quite a bit of work for Figure 4 Online, I believe, did stream this out of Mexico onto their Twitch their Twitch channel, which we watched and promoted, and it was out there. A lot of people watched it. I think it got up to about 18,000 people at some point, 16 to 18,000 people at some point. And that was how we watched it. And you mentioned the watch along as well. And like I said before, there was a bit of an UpNext dispute, so we couldn't actually stream it on the normal UpNext channel just due to certain court proceedings, and so we streamed it. We streamed it on the Dickie Bird channel. So
right.
So it was a very confusing night for everybody, but we got through it, and it was a fun night that we all had.
Twitch.tv/Dickie_Bird_.
Well done.
Right?
Congrats.
Yeah, I got good at playing it through the night. Yeah, I have to say, shout out at Lucha Blog on Twitter. We've been following them. I know everyone in post wrestling follows them in regards of lucha stuff, and they streamed it. He streamed it on Twitch, and a lot of people watched it tonight. Was it legal? I don't know, but someone did it, and hey, Twitch was a wonderful thing, and it didn't shut down once. So we watched it, and we did a watch along, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks everyone who tuned in for that, and it was interesting. We knew it was going to be an interesting one. This is Triplemania, Dickie. We're not the best people to be covering this show, but that's what makes it so much fun, right?
Yes.
Like that's what we had some people in the Twitch chat who were fans, and I got to say right off the bat, shout out to Zorro, Miguel, and Rishi, who were in the Twitch watch along, because they clearly knew way more stuff than we did. They were translating stuff for us. It was awesome. So yet again, the internet, pro wrestling, bringing friends together in a fun, strange world, while we all sat at home getting bombed, whether it be drinking. What was Brandon from New Jersey drinking during this watch along?
I mean, of course, he was drinking Modelo.
Right? Yeah, Modelo's, of course. Yeah, I was on some White Claws, and then I had a nice rum and Coke. I don't know what you were, and then of course some spliffs, but I don't know what you were on there, Dickie.
Red wine,
of course. Yeah. Obviously, that's your drink of choice. We should have had like margaritas. We should have planned it out we should have went all out for Triplemania, because they definitely went all out for Triplemania. I mean, where do we begin with Triplemania 29 in the world? I don't know if anyone's familiar with Triplemania, but you should get familiar, because there was a lot that took place, including the first match that was the Marvel Comics MCU match. Another one.
Is that what it's called? Is it?
I mean, I don't know.
The MCU match.
The MCU match is what I'll call it. Yeah. A Marvel Lucha Libre exhibition match, which means it was Team Leyenenda. And again, I'm sorry for pronunciation. I'm giving my best, I swear. Team Leyenenda Americana, which means it was Captain America, Spider-Man, and Captain Marvel, I think. Yeah. Versus Team Terror Purpura, which was Venom, Thanos, and
Black Widow.
Black Widow, right? Yeah. Black Widow did not look anything like Black Widow, so I was a little confused.
And also, I guess a lot of people are confused about her being on the baddie team, the meanies.
Yeah. Black Widow. I'm not cut up on. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know if she's a heel or a babyface. But this told me she was a heel. So this was a Marvel exhibition match, which we talked about last year, where this is legit, like trademarked with Marvel. It's a joint exhibition thing where Marvel has lent the characters, and it's a bunch of wrestlers who dress up and then wrestle as these characters. But this was kind of like the dark match, or they aired it, but like the opener exhibition, I could say. But we remember that it was Brian Cage who was Thanos last year, and it looks as if he's in the same role here. But Spider-Man had quite an entrance. I mean, Spider-Man kicked off Triplemania in only the way Spider-Man really could, which was really.
I didn't think we were going to get anywhere past Triplemania from here. Like, I thought this was going to be it.
So picture Shawn Michaels coming in WrestleMania on the pulley string thing, the entrance, but it's Spider-Man, aka under the mask was Vikngo, who's been super popular lately. He's doing double duty tonight, as was Cage. But Vikngo kind of got stuck on this entrance thing. This was like scary. We were all like a little shook, because this guy was coming down like he's supposed to do the Spider-Man thing on this pulley string, and it was kind of funny, but not quite really impressive.
So, Braden, what you didn't like, what was confusing to me is all throughout this entire show, they were throwing up advertisements, one of which I believe was for like a knockoff version of like WD-40 or whatever kind of
spray.
No, like the oil up spray. Like when
they needed it for the.
They needed it for this. They didn't use it for this. What's going on?
Yeah, they really needed this poor guy. This guy was hanging upside down. This was so scary. I would have been shook, because he like had to move his body to make it swing. He obviously had like a harness and everything, thank God. But like, Yeah, already a scary start to Triplemania. Like, what the fuck? So it's this crazy superhero match where, of course, there's all sorts of flying and crazy moves, which, you know what, to the extent there was some crazy stuff. Captain America, I'm calling it like it's a Marvel movie, but Captain America hits a flying cutter. There's then an acai moonsault from Spider-Man, but Thanos comes back. He hits some sort of power move, but gets caught in a poison rana from Spider-Man. Captain America hits a 450. There's an angel wings from Captain Marvel. But what's this? It cuts to the entrance, the stage, and there's now a giant brick wall that's been set up as Hulk smash. Yes, the Incredible Hulk comes sort of smashing through this brick wall as he comes down ringside and starts beating people up. There's then Spider-Man who hits a 360 senton and gets the win. So Team Spidey wins thanks to the Incredible Hulk, who just does the run-in here. It sounds like I'm making this up, but I'm really not.
The edibles hadn't even kicked in yet.
Dude, the edibles, I ate the edibles 5 minutes before this, and they hadn't. I thought they had kicked in, but they definitely had not. And turns out this all was real. Also, this Incredible Hulk was not that incredible looking. That's the best way to describe it. He's just wearing a mask. Also, like, the good guys got like the interference. That's a heel move there. What the fuck? Yeah, this was honestly, the wrestling and the fun stuff was there, and this, I guess it did exactly what it needed to do. But what was I watching? Holy!
Look, I won't spend too much time providing feedback to this. I will just say that I don't know too much about, I guess, the rules or what is allowed and what isn't. But yeah, the Hulk just came down and beat up the bad guys right in front of the ref. Hulk smash. Ref was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then what I really liked is that in order for the goodies to win this match, I'm calling them the goodies to win this match, it required the Hulk to have a staring competition with Thanos, which I guess paralyzed him from breaking up the pin or something. And that is how the goodies won. So it was, the Hulk and Thanos just stared at each other. And then, Spider-Man got the pin, and there we go.
Spider-Man got Peter Parker picked up a pin.
He did.
I do like how Vikngo played Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man would, in the video games and stuff, he's got all the cruiserweight moves, the poison ranas and stuff. So it does kind of fit that. What if you had to fantasy book other, this version of Spider-Man's the best version. Was it Leo Rush who played him last time? I think
Leo Rush did play him last time. Yes.
I think this is a better outing for the Marvel. It didn't overstay its welcome too much, and it had some cool stuff, but a scary entrance. But who would you book this Spider-Man against? Any other superheroes you would want to see?
So I don't know if you've ever played Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game that's on the PS4 or whatever. I haven't played the Miles Morales version, but the good one that came out a couple of years ago. Very good game, and that Spider-Man has a lot of moves that look very familiar. He's got V triggers. He's got a Kamigoye. Yeah. He's got a head scissor and all this sort of stuff. So much so that I believe that is actually Buddy Murphy in that game. I believe that is. Well, he's doing a Kamigoye and V triggers, anyway, my point is Buddy Murphy is the Spider-Man that I'd like to say.
He would be a good Scarlet Spider, a good because I didn't like the Venom in this match. Whoever was Venom, I know people playing in this was Black Taurus, Octagon Jr., and Brian Cage as Thanos there, but there's a
Venom. Was Venom looked like it was Evil Uno? Was that what the Venom was?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. And then it cut to Loki on the screen. Who's like, it's not actually Loki. It's just some dude dressed as Lucha Loki. It's Lucha Loki, and And then it starts like the actual Triplemania. But wow, what a start! With
it was wild.
Spider-Man hanging upside down in this arena here, and then a comic book come to life match. It's just what a time here. in Mexico City. But we start off Lucha Mania 29. Is that the right one? Because I'm not really good at Roman numerals.
It's 29, yeah.
It's 29. Lucha Mania 29, AAA Wrestling. And we start off with, I see... It's
sorry, Triplemania 29, not Lucha Mania.
Triplemania 29. But yeah, we start off with Mr. Says it's Sin Cara, or kind of. It's like Sin Cara Jr. They give him a weird name here, but Mr. Says Jr. Comes out here. So now this, if you thought the last match was crazy, well, this match definitely screams Triplemania because it's a 12-man Copa Bardal match. So, meaning it's a battle royal, kind of?
It's a rumble.
Yeah.
I guess it might be the best, or a Rambo, however you want to.
So people start, and then every so often more people come down to the ring and then join. And then you can eliminate people by pinning them or throwing them out, like a Royal Rumble. So there was a bunch of people in this. There was Carta Brava Jr., Aramis. I have Tito Santana. That's definitely not the right Tito Santana. So I'm going to say Soul Rocker. Drago, Nino, Mocho Coda Jr. And then Pimpinella, Villano 3 Jr., Mamba, and Arginus. So I'm sorry for the pronunciation, but there was also a lot of people, and they were coming and going. There was people in all sorts of different costumes. But of course, my main guy, Mr. Iguana, who was in this match. Now, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Mr. Iguana, but he's had quite a year because he was on Triplemania last year, which was just in December. And he's the guy that, well, looks like an iguana. So here he is with a stuffed animal iguana. What's Mr. Iguana's gimmick, really? He iguana.
He eats it? Or does he wear it on his head? Or does he do both?
I think he does. Yes. Oh, right. Yeah, he does both. He he wrestles while eating this iguana. It's not a real iguana. It's a stuffed iguana. But this match was ridiculous. There was a Spanish fly to everyone on the outside at one point. It came down to the final two, which was Mr. Iguana and Carta Bravo Jr. He eventually hits him with this iguana. There's a counter from some crazy move into the satellite into like a bulldog, which I'm assuming has got to be called like the iguana driver or something. And Mr. Iguana wins this battle royal. He wins the trophy. He puts it on his head with the iguana. And the boyhood dream has come true. Mr. Iguana wins the 12-man Copa Bardal Triplemania 29 match. Wow. This was great. What did you think of this match?
I mean, it is as advertised. It's more of a New Japan Rambo than a Royal Rumble, let's say, a bunch of people coming out. You go, who? But someone called Hamburger was in there, which was great. He looked like he'd had a few hamburgers and eaten cheeseburger from Ring of Honor. Drago, I think you didn't mention as well, was in there. And Drago, that was a bit of a highlight. But look, I think that this particular match meant nothing except for the post part of it.
You got to give Mr. Iguana his flowers because he's Mr. Iguana, and I'm gonna say again, quoting some people in the chat who were super Lucha fans. Someone was saying that Mr. Iguana was working hard for his visa, therefore could possibly work in the U.S., which I'm just taking from someone in my Twitch stream who was like, yeah, everyone was talking about they want to support this guy, so maybe we'll see more of Mr. Iguana because he's just a dude who dresses like an iguana and has an iguana, who won this match, but was just ever so slightly left alone in the ring in his celebration as we meet a new stable here in AAA, which is called the NGD Gang, the New Generation Dynamite, which consists of Sanson, Quatu Arrow, and Estero, which I'm totally messing up their names, but these guys come out in lucha masks and matching black suits, and they come down to the ring in unison, giving me Shield vibes here as they beat the hell out of Mr. Iguana. They hit this insane triple team move, which was like a torture rack stomp. I don't even know what it was, but Mr. Iguana sells it and he's twitching and everything. Even the iguana was twitching. Don't do what you want with Mr. Iguana, but leave the actual iguana alone, please. As these guys grab microphones now in their suits and they start cutting a promo in Spanish. And again, someone in our Twitch chat was somewhat translating and said that these guys were saying everyone's mediocre and wrestling has become soft and people are fighting with tables and weapons and fighting women. And they were just like, wait, what? And then he says that AAA is full of clowns. And now,
well, it is. We saw at least two of them tonight. But anyway.
There's lots of clowns. So then a bunch of people come out and start to like beat down, and it becomes this whole epic brawl here. But I would say, wrapping it in a tight little bow, is this new gang of guys that again definitely went with the Shield thing. Like again, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I know they had to have mentioned the word justice at least once. But this new generation Dynamite gang of lucha guys look pretty cool.
Yeah, this went on about as long as the match did.
Yeah,
there was a lot that just kept going. But look, this was to me, this was probably the biggest highlight of the night for me, to be honest, because I know the significance and the importance of these three guys. They literally just up and left CMLL this past week. And it was important enough to be kind of recognized in North America. I mean, I didn't know who they were beforehand, but it made waves. And here they were, I guess, doing somewhat of an invasion angle. And they came off looking like stars. So I think this is kind of like assuming that they're going to stick around in AAA, this is a big get for them. However, I was expecting them to come out, cut their promo, and then head to the back and we can just move to the next match. But these guys just wouldn't fuck off. Yeah. Like,
they kept beating people up, and then
people kept coming out and they kept beating them up, and then they started to head to the back.
Yeah,
they started to head to the back, and then they started fighting on the rampway, and then we cut to Hugo, and then someone ran in front of Hugo's shot, and then we cut back to them. It was fucking insane. So, I mean, good for them for, I guess, like trying to do a pretty good invasion angle. At one point, I thought, are we shooting now? Is there like people actually pissed off at these people now? Are we trying to move on with the show and they're holding it up? I don't know. But all in all, I mean, these three guys had to go somewhere after CMLL, and I suppose this is where it's going to be. And I guess they're going to keep beating up more people. So good on them.
Yeah. Again, like I'm not super familiar, but they came across with the way they first impressions matter, right? And as soon as these three guys came out looking like that, and then beat the hell out of this guy, and then beat the hell out of everyone for the next 15 to 20 minutes. It looked good. There was all these other factions that are clearly setting up like faction wars and stuff. Factions so hot in pro wrestling right now. We go to our next match, which is title versus title. Deonna Purrazzo representing Impact, putting her Impact women's title on the line against Faby Apache, who's going to put the AAA women's title on the line here. So title for title. We recently, me and Davey just talked about Apache and the Apache sisters on the Best Match Ever Triplemania show, which is interesting. And I know Davey's also a big fan of Deonna and her work in Impact. They mentioned that Apache here is 40 years old and still looking like she can go, and she can do that. It's very technical. There's Northern Light suplex for a near fall. There's some pump kicks. Deonna locks in the Fujiwara armbar. And then I start to realize that the referee in this match is a heel referee. Yeah. Did you notice this?
I someone in the chat kind of pointed it out first.
Yeah.
And then I did obviously notice specifically why they were a heel ref. I'm still confused as to, like, I don't know why.
Because to explain to explain a heel ref is like Deonna, if Deonna is like knocked out or getting pinned, like the ref will like really slowly count, but when Deonna's pinning, it's fast. Or like even so much as dragging Deonna to help get her to the ropes. Like it's like it's like blatant, like it's to show he's a bad guy.
So I'm gonna upload this show that we're doing right now to YouTube at some point. Actually, it's a Patreon show, so I won't. But anyway, you can tweet me.
It's a free show. It's a free show.
Oh, we're doing a free show? Great.
Yeah,
so someone in the comments, feel free to tell me why this AAA ref was in the pocket of Deonna Purrazzo from New Jersey Impact Wrestling. That's my confusion. If you told me that he was a heel ref in and helping out Faby Apache, then that makes sense because you have an invader coming in. But this was not Brian Hebner in the ring. This was not an Impact ref.
Just a heel ref.
Just a heel AAA ref.
Yeah, he really wanted Deonna to win here. That's why.
I guess. Yeah.
There's some back and forth. There's German suplexes, a fairy tale ending, just chaos where there's managers and just everything you would expect here. I have what the fuck is going on. There's this short Gotch style pile driver from Deonna, which just looks nasty. And then she locks in her Fujiwara armbar, and the Virtuosa becomes a dual champion, the belt collector herself, as she's double champ now. And it's a celebration as... Is it the mask, the Phantom, Leo Phantom, who comes out wearing his lucha mask and then like a COVID like face shield, like plastic thing over the mask, which is just a really funny visual. But yeah, Deonna Purrazzo keeping the Impact title, winning the AAA Women's title. What'd you think of this match? Yeah,
this sucked. To be honest, I'm sorry. I just thought that this was. I don't know what it is. If it's Deonna, to be honest, I'm not really a big fan. I didn't think that this match worked very well at all. The heel ref stuff, lots of overbooking. I get it. It's AAA, and I just don't think you need it, especially in like a champion versus champion match. Why have we got a heel ref in this? Why can't you just have the best from one promotion versus the best from the other promotion? We need to fuck this up so much. It just, none of it made sense to me. I thought it sucked, and I was, just happy to see the back of it. The AAA title is now on Deonna, so she can not wear it in other promotions. Probably, she probably will wear it on Impact. If they put it on an AEW wrestler, they wouldn't acknowledge its existence. So at least that's something. But yeah, it was there. It's fine, as I would say. It was fine.
Yeah, like I know both of them are talented wrestlers, and I kind of agree with what you're saying of how I wish it was just them wrestling, and they definitely had parts of it which was just the wrestling part, but it got to AAA silliness kind of, and there were some cool looking moves, but yeah, I'm happy Deonna won. I hope maybe she does get go on this reign and stuff, but nothing that really kind of blew me away. But our next match, though, you could say did that because it's a triple threat tag team match for the AAA Tag Team Championship. The Lucha Bros, the champions, defending, meaning Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, defending against Hijo del Vikngo and Laredo Kid, and the team of Black Taurus and Brian Cage. So yeah, some double duty here with some of the wrestlers, but this already sounds crazy. Just explaining who's in this match, if you know these people, especially this Vikngo guy, because we were mentioning Spider-Man. I think going into this, we had some hype. Yeah.
I mean, look, you just look at the names on this, and even with the addition of Brian Cage, like he is a big dude, and that actually really helps in matches where you've got a lot of flippy stuff. And I guess Black Taurus as well is kind of a big dude too. So they were very much the base on this, and
the trampoline. for the other guys to jump off of.
The trampoline fueled by gas. Indeed.
That's right. So there's huge like moves from everyone. There's so many, just chaos. There's side effects from Brian Cage. There's a DDT destroyer, torture rack, backbreakers, Penta driver. There's the Rey Fenix German suplex. There's Vikngo who comes in with was it Krait's Wrath? What's the move Kenny does?
Yeah, Kreutz Wrath.
Yeah, the German.
It's a video game thing.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Vikngo's hitting insane things. I know in the Twitch chat, someone said Vikngo reminds them of Damian Priest's little brother because he's got the like almost looks like a vampire, but he's got like cornrows and stuff. Vikngo's hitting 450s like it's a transition move. There's a jackhammer from Brian Cage. There's super kick party galore. There's a judgment slam from Brian Cage. And I know people always say Brian Cage is like your creator wrestler, but judgment slam from Here Comes the Pain was an awesome move. And he hit it here for a near fall. Vikngo's fighting on the outside, stands on the guardrail and does a shooting star press off of it, which was insane. Goes back in the ring and hits a 630, but it's broken up. He gets military pressed off the top rope. But then off another move, there's Penta who hits the destroyer, and then the Lucha Bros driver, and the Lucha Bros pick up the win to retain the tag titles here. What I explained, I skipped over so many insane things, but just a shot of an adrenaline here where these guys just went nonstop.
For sure. Look, it's kind of a tough thing for me to say. I mean, it's easy, but it was match of the night. And I think one of the reasons why you could easily say it's match of the night is because you really got what you thought you were going to get in this match. They sort of left out the overbooking bullshit that seemed to exist in most of the other matches on this show. There was a point where I thought it was never going to end because someone was always going to break up the pin. But obviously, we figured it was always, it was going to end at some point. But yeah, there was no like overly weird, unless I'm forgetting something. There was no shenanigans or anything like that.
I mean, there probably was. It's true. It's Triplemania. It probably was.
I mean, it probably was. I can't really think of anything, but there were a lot. It's Lucha rules, right? So it's a bit more flexible, if someone gets thrown out, someone can just come in kind of thing. So you don't really need to do tags and all that sort of stuff. But it was out of this world. It was incredible. And, I think the right people won as well. That's not discounting Vikngo and Laredo Kid, who obviously put on a pretty amazing performance here. But yeah, just, I mean, if you want to go back and watch one match that isn't Marvel themed, then this would probably be the one.
Yeah, it was what I expected. It was like a spot fest where everyone's doing crazy stuff. This Vikngo guy is definitely someone to watch in the near future, because I'm sure he'll be showing up. Like Rey Fenix is someone who's I feel like both Rey Fenix and Penta are underutilized in AEW, but as a team, they're still amazing and they're still champions, which made me think that maybe there could be a whole unit going forward in AEW with them and Andrade, but.
Maybe they need a manager as well.
Yeah. Chavo.
Well, we'll get to that later. Yeah.
So yeah, again, like chaos of a match and some pretty crazy stuff. If you want to see stuff you've probably never seen in matches, because they came up with it in this one. We go to Conan backstage. He knocks on Andrade's dressing room door. And he's like, hey, and he's getting in the face of Andrade. And Andrade says, look, hit the bricks, Conan. I don't need you anymore. Kind of alluding to he's got someone else. Doesn't need Conan. So Conan goes over to Kenny Omega's dressing room, knocks on his door and says, hey, I got a business proposition for you. So Kenny says, I'm interested. So yeah, more to come on that. But we were thinking, what could this mean? Conan's...
Yeah, what could this mean? I mean... But it's actually a really good question because Andrade has had 12 managers so far in his career since leaving WWE. So him saying I've already got someone else. I mean, it could have been anybody really. And it also could have been someone who we hadn't seen before. In fact, it was most likely going to be a new person.
Yeah. I knew who I had my hopes for, but I didn't think my dreams would come true. But we have a match in between before we can talk about that, which is a match La Empresa, or La Empress, which means Puma King, Sam Adonis, and DMT, which I did not know was a wrestler, but a great name for one, defeated Team AAA, which was Pagano, Chessman, and Murder Clown. Yeah. Classic AAA guys here with Pagano, Chessman, which a lot of people call him Wolfpack Sting. Definitely rocking the attire of Wolfpack Sting. The clown guy. So there's two different clowns because there's Psycho Clown and this is Murder Clown, right? And I had to make sure we had the difference between the different ones. But when the guys earlier said there were clowns in AAA, they definitely did mean that.
I believe Pagano is wearing a clown's mask.
Yeah, that's true. He is a clown as well. So there's just all these clowns. And then a Puma King who's got like furry thing. And then a dude's name is DMT. I bet Joe Rogan would love him. But this
and Corey Graves is brother, Sam Adonis.
Sam Adonis is Corey Graves' brother. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So there's the clown. One of the Murder Clown hits a 619 sort of. Puma King hits this crazy swanton dive to the outside at one point. Clown does this tope, but completely falls. But then there's ladders and wooden tables. And I have in quotes, a bunch of fucking shit goes down. And these guys brawl. Puma King, Sam Adonis, and DMT win the match. This was kind of sloppy. It had some cool stuff, but it didn't move a needle for me at all.
I'm so glad that you recapped this for me because I don't remember this match at all.
I try to forget.
And it's not because I was like drinking wine or anything like that, because I remember the next two matches quite clearly. There's just something about it blacked out, but a bunch of fucking shit went down, really kind of triggered a few things for me. So I don't really have much else to say, but it was there. And one of these two teams won, and congratulations to them.
I will say the outfits was on point. Like some of the ways they looked was. I really liked the furry lucha outfit that he had. The one dude had. I think it was Puma King. It makes sense that the guy with Puma King has the fur on him. But yeah, I thought he looked like a superstar.
And that's Ricochet's dad. Is that
what was his Prince Puma? Yeah, right.
Prince Puma. Yeah, and that's Puma King. All right, gotcha.
Yeah. We were doing the watch along. This was definitely when people went to go do their smoke break and stuff. This is when I realized on our watch along that I was the first one to blade tonight. Not Hugo. Not anyone. I was the first one.
Not Ric Flair.
I have this like screen protector on my iPhone and I cracked it like a bunch, but then I also like really dropped it today and didn't realize maybe how bad I dropped it. And here I am like doing our watch along and I'm like texting. And then next thing I know, like I'm bleeding. I'm juicing, blading. And I realize now, it's even right now, it's still this tiny little piece of glass is in my pinky. So I was blading before anyone on the show. I just have to credit myself. On a Triplemania show, I bladed before Hugo. And even someone else, a legendary blader, shows up and I still outbladed them. Even though it's just glass from an iPhone.
I think it's perfect that you told the story during this match or this part of the card where nothing else was happening, and you've told us the story about you getting glass in your finger. It's perfect.
Yeah, it was the most important part of my night because there's still,
with a tear in your eye.
I mean, I still have to get it out. Or do I just worry about it? Is it future Braden's problem? Do I worry about the glass later?
Nature will take care of it. It's either going to stay in there or come out by itself. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to have glass forever in my finger. I'm sorry for those squeamish. We go to our next match. The match, which is not the main event, but some would say is the main event. The draw for them. tonight. The AAA World Championship. Kenny Omega, the champion, defending against Andrade Idolo. And well, Kenny Omega comes out to the ring with Conan, with his pyro and his sheet being pulled away as he comes down to the ring. He's got Conan now in his corner, who clearly dressed up for the event here at Triplemania in a nice baby blue just t-shirt. So Andrade, the opponent, comes out, and Andrade's rocking that gear we saw him wear. It's like the skull mask and the pants and the whole suit, the whole attire here. And he comes out of the floor in this like thing of smoke, like shooting out smoke near fire. It looked pretty sweet, actually. He looked pretty gangster. But I know this, I think pro wrestling is the only sport or sports entertainment. Pro wrestling is the only show that we get mad at people for wearing pants. It's just weird because everyone's like, why is he wearing the pants? However, these pants weren't the Babe Ruth Yankees. This was like white, right? He looked okay. The pants look good right off the bat. The pants look good. You prefer his other stuff.
Well, no, I mean, like you say that they weren't the Yankee pants. Yeah, they didn't have pinstripes. They were still the exact same fucking pants. Like he just had a different pair of pants in his closet that he wore today, and the dress shoes or the loafers or the Dockers that he was wearing as well. It's just like, look, I was weird because I was like, no, he's going to do a Naito. And he's going to rip the jacket off, which we knew he would do, obviously. And then he'll rip the pants off. And he rips the jacket off. And he doesn't rip the fucking pants off. So it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's like Ricochet wearing fucking work jeans in his matches. Like, what is this? Like, it's wrestling. Anyway, sorry. So yes, what you were saying about the only thing that people get pissed off about wearing
in any
pants.
Other aspect in life, you would be, like when I walk down the street and I see some guy not wearing pants, I'm like, oh, dude should be wearing pants. But yes. in wrestling, yeah. When some guy comes to have his match, I'm like, hey, dude should probably not be wearing pants because he's wrestling.
I can't explain it, but I'm getting hot right now thinking about it. Yeah, so it must be a thing.
Like hot meaning like you're upset.
I mean, whatever you
either way,
column A, column B, just it's fine.
I mean, it's a podcast. It's a podcast. We're both not wearing pants right now either. And no one.
I have not been wearing pants since yesterday. So the whole watch along and everything.
Pants since the lockdown of 2020.
Exactly.
Well, Andrade versus Kenny. Andrade comes out with this suit, the black mask, and everything. And well, he comes out of the ground with smoke and fire and everything. He takes off the mask. He takes off the suit. He keeps the pants on. But the music changes, and Andrade reveals he's got someone walking him to the ring. Cue the classic theme. Woo! Ric Flair comes out to walk Andrade to the ring. I absolutely lose my mind here. So quick pause. Ric Flair is here in Mexico in AAA, walking Andrade to the match against Kenny Omega. What?
Ric Flair is AAA elite. I don't know. He's confirmed. I don't know. I mean, he's here in Mexico. There you go.
Yeah. Love it. I absolutely lost it. I don't even care. I just love Ric Flair, and seeing this definitely got my attention. Definitely just got all the emotion in here for me.
Do you want to? I don't usually give hot takes about wrestling because it just ends up with people arguing. But I'm going to say this. There's just something about living in a pandemic right now and seeing Ric Flair crossing borders that I feel like I'd prefer him just to stay at home right now. Like, I know he's going to do whatever he wants because it's very clear that he's just going to do whatever he wants. But I was not as excited as you. I think I would be more excited if he turned up in AEW because it may have only been a hop, skip, and away from where he actually lives. You know, this is him traveling from yeah, one place that I don't know. Yeah, even with vaccinations right now, like, you know, still COVID is quite dangerous for people of his age and everything. And yeah, but he's here and he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. So he came here and you know, luckily he was a really important part of this match and just made it so much better. So
I mean, some would say that. And
that was a joke.
Yeah, some would not say that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ric Flair, and he will never retire. All right. He will never retire.
Exactly.
He's not going to die in the ring, but he's going to die like within this business. He will
on the apron.
Like he will do this till any part of it he can. That's just the kind of guy he is, and he's the GOAT. He's the legend. I like seeing him here because it definitely genuinely got me. I was like, Ric Flair's going to show up, and like he did. So I was like, okay, holy shit, they got me. So I love it, and I am a Flair fan. So I was super into seeing him here, and it was just it just looked epic. It looked awesome walking him down to the ring here. And Ric Flair, yeah, with Andrade, I want to see him in Charlotte in AEW. She needs to make the jump, do the Alundra Blaze and make the jump. It should be great. But seeing Ric Flair here, Ric Flair drip, I was stoked and I was super in. And yeah, Andrade with Ric Flair versus Kenny Omega with Conan happening now on Triplemania 29.
Where was Don Callis? What the fuck?
Yeah, where was Michael Nakazawa? No one came down with Kenny. Yeah. So Kenny and Andrade tie up. They do some simple back and forth, and then there's Kenny doing the Ric Flair taunt right in front of them, which pisses Andrade off. On the outside, Kenny hits this like back suplex onto a guardrail right on the back. Conan hands Kenny the secret water bottle that he had in his pocket because Kenny needs to stay hydrated. It's very important. So Conan doing a good job being a manager. There's the "you can't escape," but Kenny kind of is too beat up at one point to nail it. There's a sunset flip into the Meteora, which I used to call the balls to the face. There's then the knees again, but Kenny dodges it. There's a crazy corkscrew from Andrade to the outside. The double moonsault where the guy rolls away, but then he moonsaults you anyways, which Andrade does the best. Everyone else can try to do it, but he does the best. There's then Kenny who comes back with the J Driller for near fall. There's snapdragons. There's crazy German suplexes. And this is when Ric Flair takes his jacket off because he's watching this. There's a slap fight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Kenny and Andrade are slapping each other. And this is where Andrade just does his Judas effect, the Andrade effect, the spinning back elbow, which looks like he takes off Kenny's face. Looks like he takes his nose right off him. I don't know how his nose didn't gush blood here. It looked great. And if it was just great selling or looked good, good on them. But this elbow looked like it took his head off.
This was fucking unreal. Like we see Chris Jericho do this almost every week, you know. I guess not next week. But anyway, Andrade does that, and I was just like, oh my God, he's killed him. Like, you know, or he's got a broken nose now or whatever. But I guess the one thing that I keep remembering, because Sheamus got a broken nose in a match against Humberto Carrillo recently on Raw, and you wouldn't have guessed it. You wouldn't have even known that it happened, kind of thing. So
right.
Like this was done so well. You know, Kenny sold this like he was shot in the face.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure he's totally fine and stuff. But yeah, this looked absolutely amazing.
Well, he can't pin him. There was a spot where Kenny just barely got his foot, like his toe on the rope here, which was so close. Everyone, even Andrade was like, no, I won. The ref's like, nah, you didn't, bro. And Kenny's like, yeah. There's these crazy V triggers, counters, crazy sequences. Andrade hits this DDT and then hits him with his finisher, like the hammerlock DDT, but Kenny gets out of it. I think that's where he got the foot up. There's then the balls to the face again, the Meteora. This is where Conan gets involved. And ladies and gentlemen, Ric Flair gets in the ring and starts lighting Kenny Omega up with a series of chops. Woo! Chops him up. He drops Conan with chops, drops Conan to the mat. Andrade puts Kenny to the mat as Andrade puts Kenny in the figure four. Ric Flair puts Conan in the figure 4. Not something I'd have on my bingo card for wrestling in 2021. Chaos is happening, but the ref isn't calling it. Rick has to leave the ring. Conan leaves the ring, but it's Kenny who hits the title shot to Andrade's head and hits him with the one-winged angel and pins Andrade to retain the title in what was a roller coaster of emotions here. If Ric Flair's involved, it's definitely much more fun to watch while maybe having a drink. But
so the edibles had definitely kicked in at this point, yeah.
100%, yeah, 100%. And Rick didn't blade, and I'm still blading. So,
look, this was a match of two halves for me, which is like a real Australian thing to say. That's what all the Australian rugby players say at the end of the game. It was a match of two halves. But this really was, because the first half, I think this was good. It wasn't blow away Kenny versus Andrade that I think a lot of people expected, but there was a lot of really good stuff in there between these two. Personally, I was a little confused as to who was babyface and who was heel, but I guess maybe it doesn't really matter. And I sort of push it to the side, I guess. And then the second half happened, which was to me, I guess, a clusterfuck of a mess. And I'm not even saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was bad, right? Anyway, yeah, go on. What are you gonna say?
The spot where it's Kenny who has the title and he's about to nail Andrade, and that's when Rick comes into the frame.
Oh yes,
and Rick Kenny was waiting for so long, and it's Kenny who just has to turn around and be like, "Oh, what?" When Rick wasn't even anywhere near him yet, which was really funny. Yeah,
that's right. And that was the start of the clusterfuck.
Yeah, so maybe it's because I'm a huge fan of Andrade. I'm a huge fan of Kenny Omega. Huge fan of Ric Flair. Fuck it. Fan of Conan. So I liked seeing all of this happen because I was losing my mind that I was watching this. So it was fun. But yeah, the wrestling fan in me really wanted this one-on-one 40-minute fucking classic that we didn't get, but we got a classic in a different regard where it did have some of the good wrestling, like that elbow, the V triggers, all the sequences. They definitely had each other's number and would love to see them tie it up again. Definitely screams rematch, but having Ric Flair there just makes it this next mecca thing. It's going to be, people are going to be talking about it tomorrow more so probably than if these two had a good, I don't know. I thought it was really fun. Yes, I'm disappointed we didn't get them just wrestling because you're right. It had the first chunk of the match, and then it had this sketch ending thing that happened, but it was Ric Flair. So yeah, it's you hate it and you love it at the same time. It reminds me of what is it? Triple H versus Sting. It's why did people fucking hate that match, but then people fucking love that match because NWO and DX come out. It's yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's right. The Sting and the NWO against DX.
Am I crazy? It's kind of like that. So yeah, I hope we see a rematch between Kenny and Andrade. But seeing Ric Flair out there throwing some chops was quite funny and quite entertaining. And he's still jet flying, limousine riding all the way down to Mexico City. Woo, woo, woo! I wish we had some kamikazes. Got to make some kamikaze shots. Put them in a shoey.
Let's do it now.
No. Yeah. I hope we see Ric Flair again. Book Ric Flair versus Sting on AEW TV.
Fuck's sake.
One last time. Yeah. Sting, sure. Ric Flair versus Steamboat. One last time. There's a whole tour you could do there.
Ric Flair versus Darby Allin. Fuck it.
I want Charlotte to join AEW just to fuck things up, just change things up. Be good. Ric Flair walks off after he's upset. He's sad that Andrade lost. Andrade in the ring though acts as if he won and points to the title and says it's mine. And all these people know it's mine. So Kenny's like, nah, mate, I beat you. I just actually beat you. That means I won. But
yeah, obviously we were a bit confused because there was no English commentary or anything like that, and some people in the chat were saying no, he's saying that he wants a title shot, which I believe he just had and lost. It's very unusual to say. I mean, we don't really know what he said, but it would be funny for me to lose and then to say, "Hey, can I have a title shot?" Like, you just fucking had one. What are you? Get out of here!
You just lost, bro. But yeah, I hope we get to see them tie it up in AEW again down the line.
Yes, absolutely.
But not quite Gargano and Almas and Chill. Not quite.
No, because look, and we should move on. But this is the biggest match, so we can talk about it for a bit. But like when Andrade was released, that was the first thing that I think I even messaged you guys, and it was like, Omega on Andrade and Chill, and
it's more
then
like Omega, Andrade, and Flair. That's what it became.
We need to talk about your Flair. But and then they announced that we would get this, and it was like, oh wow. And it was a bit of a kind of fiasco. It wasn't what we expected, and I do hope that we get it down the line. In America, in AEW, they're both in AEW, so it would be great to see it again, and hopefully he fucking wrestles in AEW as well. That would be nice too.
Instead of talking.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll get Gargano versus Kenny.
Woo!
One day. Woo! Ric Flair is a special guest referee.
Oh, fuck.
And Conan. For no reason. Conan. Fucking Conan. We go to our main event. It is a mask versus hair match. Psycho Clown putting his mask on the line against Rey El Scorpion putting his hair on the line. Now, this is an intro to give this like visual here. It has all these wrestlers, all the talent out here in support of Super Porky. A tribute out to him. Rest in peace, Super Porky. So everyone's kind of giving this celebration and throwing support out there and everything in love. And then Psycho Clown just takes the one picture and smashes it over a Scorpion's head. And I believe this is what starts this match off as these two start fighting and brawling everywhere. And this is this whole match is a clusterfuck, but we expected this here at Triplemania. Yeah. There's Clown the mask is on the line, but he gets his mask ripped pretty much early in the match. But it's okay because you can't see his full face, just a little bit of it. There's light tubes being brought in here, which are getting smashed over the guy's face. There's then beer bottles, which are brought in and then smashed over the guy's face and then stabbed. We've seen pizza cutters lately, but beer bottles being used. His forehead is finally someone's blading here. Someone is catching up to me and blading.
Yeah, thankfully we didn't have a picture-in-picture commercial with a Heineken ad as he was going to town with a beer bottle.
Modelo.
That's right.
Corona.
15 years ago, Psycho Clown made a choice. Anyway.
I know it's Mexico City, but in Dominican Republic, they have El Presidente, which is a great beer to have down there on the beach. Well, the beer bottles, I don't know how you gimmick a beer bottle. But they're special.
Well, it's just sugar glass, right? It's just sugar. It's what they use in the movies and stuff. Yeah. I don't want to be one of those people, but it's not real. Like you would, there's just, it's almost like you'd knock someone out trying to smash a beer bottle over their head.
Yeah,
it's a thing here in Australia. They do it quite a lot here in Australia in bar fights and stuff, and it's doesn't lead to good stuff.
You just knock someone out from doing it instead of smashing it. It won't smash, but he's using the shards of it in each other's face and foreheads here. There's then backstabbers and code breakers. Psycho Clown hits a moonsault for a near fall, which looked pretty good, like a double spring Arabian press. There's a Rana off the top, which looked nice as well. Clown hits a corkscrew plancha to the outside. There's a package pile driver or a package something for a near fall. Spanish fly off the top. There's a hammer involved, but it's taken away, and there seems to be some sort of turn here from a manager or
fuck this.
yeah. So is it La Hydra and Goya Kong is involved as well? It gets so convoluted here. There's a hammer, there's kick to nuts, there's more hammers, there's a sunset flip and a roll up, and Psycho Clown wins the match. And
with a roll up.
And Rey El Scorpion has to shave his hair. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I expected everything in this match that we got. So I'm not going to shit on it that much, because if you saw, I believe, last year's with the hair versus hair match with Chessman, he lost as well, and that was again the last however many main events I've seen at Triplemania have always been like this, just a massive mess. And so to go into this thinking you're going to get anything different, like, you're an idiot. So fine, like it was fine. I don't really have any other comments. I think that was Psycho Clown's wife that gave him the hammer and then kicked him in the nuts. I think. I'm not sure. But I guess the only thing that kind of sucked about this, and it was brought up in the Twitch chat as well, was just like, this is AAA's biggest event. This is AAA's WrestleMania, really, right? And to have the main event end on like a roll-up is always a bit kind of like, come on, man. Let's get a definitive win here. And someone actually in the Twitch chat said, imagine a WrestleMania that ended in like a roll up or something like that. And I said, well, actually, Ronda versus Becky versus Charlotte ended with Becky rolling up Ronda, and that was weak as piss as well, to be honest. So that's kind of my only feedback, was just kind of the ending was a bit flat. But yeah, we got bottles and we got hammers and we got nut shots. So, everyone should go home happy.
I mean, Hugo didn't blade, so I was a little upset. But
I mean, not that we know of. Maybe we didn't cut to him at the end. Maybe the after party. We're not sure. But true, we didn't see it, and that's the real shame. Yeah. Yeah,
we didn't get to see it. You're right. It probably did happen in some way. We could believe. If we believe it, we can achieve it. I thought this was exactly what you would get. It's very similar. They do these matches year in, year out of all these craziness and beer bottles and your violence and everything. And it had some cool stuff, and it had importance. It cuts to this little girl who now is shaving the head of Rey El Scorpion, but they didn't turn the clippers on, or they didn't plug it in. So it's not doing it's not doing anything. So then they grab the scissors and start cutting this guy's hair. And then there's confetti. And then there's like little kids in lucha masks dancing around the ring. And this is definitely when the edibles kicked in for me. And I was like, what is going on? It's like some Nightmare on Elm Street type thing. So they're celebrating. Hey,
do you remember? I think it's when Jeff Jarrett got his hair cut or something. It was one of the many, but it was, and it's probably been a few of them. But anytime that they use those clippers, when they do actually work, it just looks like they're trying to take their scalp off. I was almost glad that they realized these clippers just didn't work at all, and they just threw them in the bin and used the scissors, because I really was not interested in seeing Rey El Scorpion covered in blood with wet hair getting his scalp taken off by these clippers. And
by this little girl.
By his little fucking hell. Like, this is a sight to be seen. But again, it's nothing unusual. The same thing happened with Chessman last year as well. His hair was so wet they couldn't cut through it. It took forever, and so did Tanai. So, but yeah, no, it was weird. The little girl. I guess the referee would take the scissors, cut Rey El Scorpion's hair, pass it to the little girl, which I guess is Rey El Scorpion's daughter, who would then pass it to Psycho Clown, who would then get up with the turnbuckle and hold it up. I don't know what the fuck is happening. This is a Mexican thing. If it is, no disrespect. it's not how we do things here. Usually when I go to the barber, they just cut it and then I pay them some money and I leave. I don't bring my kids, but I don't know. But it was, it was hilarious. I had a great time. The edibles kicked in for me too. I didn't even have any. So
it was bizarre. And we're not at all this whole entire show. This is still pro wrestling and we love it. We knew what we were getting into, but I was not expecting to see little girls dancing around the ring while cutting this guy's hair. When they cut his hair, he went from looking like Zeller's or Walmart version of Roman Reigns to QT Marshall. Rey El Scorpion.
He looked like QT Marshall. He looked like MVP. Yeah. And then at some point they fired off all this confetti right in the middle of it. He was still getting his hair cut at this point.
It's really
confetti
weird.
Went off. Then confetti goes in the guy's hair as they're cutting it out. And it's just like, and the kids are dancing. And it was just like, yeah, man, I think it was more than edibles I think the shrooms had kicked in by this point. Fuck's sake.
If I had done shrooms, it probably would have made make more sense to me, but yeah, and then the Hulk came out. No, that was earlier. Well, that was Triplemania 29, and what an event it was! Triplemania, what a Triplemania! It's give me the green light, and it's come and gone. And I guess we got to wait a whole other year before we can talk about it again. Or you could listen to Best Match Ever. Triplemania that me and Davey just released earlier this morning on our Patreon, covering years of Triplemania matches. Did you listen to it, Dickie? You could, if you haven't yet, it's okay.
No, I was expecting it earlier in the week. I'm not sure what happened, but I woke up this morning. And saw it was in my podcast feed, but then 2 hours after that, I had to do this watch along with you. So I decided I'll listen back afterwards and realize all the mistakes I've made, things that I've said on the show, because you may have educated me.
I know everything there is to know about Triplemania now because I've watched so much of it in the past while. But if you want to know, we talked about Rey Mysterio versus Mystices as biker gangs drive by our neighborhood. Yeah, we talked about Rey Mysterio versus Mystices or Sin Cara. There's Eddie Guerrero, Liger's in there, all sorts of different things, all sorts of fun stuff from so many different years of Triplemania. It was as fun as watching Triplemania with you today, good sir. What an event it was. What a strange event it was.
I mean, it was wonderful. It was pro wrestling at its finest.
When will you ever book Spider-Man and Ric Flair on the same show?
I mean, I've always said this, not that I'm always on your show, but when I am, especially with the Hell in a Cell, the last time I was doing one of these was the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with Davey. And I said, look, I like my pro wrestling to either be really, really good or really, really bad. And it's a bit harsh to put this in the really, really bad category, but I would put it in like the car crash category. Right. Like it was interesting to look at, you know what I mean? Like I had a hell of a lot of fun. That Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was none of those things, and it was awful. So I was sports entertained.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, sports entertained for sure. They do a good job of that. They do a good job of mixing the wrestling with the ridiculous over there in AAA and Triplemania. Well, thank you, Dickie, because not only did we watch this and did a watch along, but then for joining me on this show, we got to shout out Lucha Blog for doing that Twitch stream, which probably was illegal, but whatever. Fuck the system, man. Fuck the man. We're gonna burn this motherfucker down. Dickie, you also are a big part of the UpNext universe because you've been helping us put together some stuff for UpNext Summer, which is happening this weekend, within a week. And without giving things away, what can you tell the people?
I can tell the people to expect the unexpected. I think. I think that I think that this is going to be very different. So I don't want to give too much away because I like to keep people very, very surprised. There's things that you don't even know about Braden.
Wow. He's a true artist. He's a true artist. Dickie is our mastermind behind the visuals you've been seeing on our socials.
Thank you. Yes.
Including these things. You got to check them out because Dickie, you are a brilliant man who come up with some crazy stuff. And apparently I don't even know all the stuff that will be happening on Up Next Summer, but I can't wait.
Yes. So I would probably just, and again, like, just to plug some stuff, the one thing that I would plug is stay tuned to the Up Next podcast Twitter account, because that's probably where you're going to see drops all of the time. But also subscribe to the Up Next YouTube channel as well, which is youtube.com/upnext, because all those videos will be there kind of in a playlist as well and easy to digest. But also come along to the show, because there's going to be videos that we're not dropping ahead of time. They're only going to drop on the show.
Yes.
And there's some stuff that, as long as I don't go into some sort of, coma or somebody hits me over the head with a bottle or something.
Oh, man.
It's going to go down on the 22nd of August at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Up Next podcast Twitch feed, which is twitch.tv/upnextpodcast. Please come along, because I can only guarantee that you'll see things that genuinely I just don't think anyone else is really doing. Like,
no.
we know that there's this is the thing, right? We know that there's
too much now.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying we know that there's other places that do some quiz stuff. It exists out there, wrestling quiz stuff. It's cool, but you don't have the types of kind of extra, I guess, multimedia stuff that we're putting together.
It is a must-watch live. Like, you don't only get spoiled on this one almost. I would say you gotta watch this one live.
It's perfect for video. That's the other thing too. Like, I never thought what I could do could help podcasters, because it's obviously kind of all audio. This is the perfect place for all of this. So I have a big week ahead of me, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some pretty special stuff that we're going to see. So that would be my only plug, is for your stuff, which is weird.
Thank you very much.
But also follow me on Twitter as well at Dickie Bird Media, because I do some other stuff as well, and you might be interested in that. So
you're a saint. You're a saint, man. You are coming up with these things that we've been putting out and what we have planned, and I know that people will be starstruck, be awestruck of what you come up with and what you show. I just know some of the stuff you have planned for next week is gonna blow some people's minds. So if you're a long-term, hard BDE fan, you got to tune in. It's gonna be killer. And thank you, Dickie, because you're in our corner, man, and it goes a long way. We appreciate having you along, and it was so fun for a Kiwi and a Canadian to talk about Mexican pro wrestling here today. Who else better?
Brian Cage? I don't know. I am the Ric Flair to your Andrade. There you go.
Woo! Woo! What is that? Am I Andrade?
I don't know.
Davey's gonna be mad. I want to be Rick. I would definitely would want to be Rick.
Davey Charlotte.
Follow us at Up Next Podcast, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, we're also twitching on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, twitch.tv/upnextpodcast for Up Next covering NXT and BD Elite covering AEW Dynamite for all these shows. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Dickie Bird, for hanging around all night. I'm going to go to sleep and go to my shoot job, and then we'll do all this again this week. We got a long
week. I'm gonna have a cerveza.
Yeah, go have a cerveza, por favor. I'm gonna go get ready for not only our tailgate for all our patrons, and then a SummerSlam watch along and post show, but then Up Next Summer, Takeover 36 post show and watch along. We got so much stuff going on, and we love you all. Goodbye. Take care. Be safe.
Woo! I was expecting you.